Hello everybody, Silas back again today. We've got a little bit different one for you today. There's going to be a little bit of crushing, there's going to be a little converter processing, a little bit of moving cars around. I got a couple cool shots with my GoPro. Got an assortment of things going on. But the number one thing I got going on is I got a new tool. I'm really excited to try this tool out. I think it's going to be a game changer of sorts. I'm really looking forward to see what it can do. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, I've actually already recorded some stuff today. The problem is that I recorded a bunch of stuff with my GoPro, and I don't know what its deal is. It's been having issues with SD cards now for a while. I guess I've had it for almost 2 years. I guess it's time to replace it and buy a different one. But anyway, I lost a bunch of footage, and so this video was very incomplete. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to start over. I'll take what I have, and I'll just kind of incorporate it into this video, what is still usable anyway. But basically, I reached out to this company that makes this tool, and I said, hey, I really want to try your product out. This is not a paid promotion in any way, shape, or form. I reached out to them and I said, I want to try your product. Will you send it to me? And we worked out a deal. They sent it to me. They didn't pay me to talk about it. They said, just put it in one of your videos, put it in multiple of your videos, whatever you want to do with it, just tell people about it. So that's what I'm going to do. This is the Ecoflow Delta Max 2000 is what this is. This is a portable power station. As you can see here, it's currently at 95%. I have used it a little bit today. I've actually used it a lot today, and it's still at 95%. It's been a pretty good unit. I've really enjoyed using it so far. I've actually used it 2 days in a row now. So far, it has met all of my expectations and exceeded them. So I'm really pretty happy. Well, I say that. There's one expectation I was really hoping. It wasn't really an expectation. It was just a dream, a hope, a wish. I was really hoping I could run my Hypertherm plasma cutter. This is the PowerMax 30 Air. I love this little unit because it has a built-in air compressor, runs on 110 or 220. The problem is with the plasma cutter and the air compressor, it draws about 3,600 watts. And this unit has a 3,400 watt max capacity. And so it's just a little bit too much. And so it works for a minute and then it overloads it and it shuts off. So that's really unfortunate that that didn't work. But so far, everything else I've been using has worked great. So I guess I'll go ahead and play some of that footage for you now. I'm back at the main yard again today. Got my loader fixed. It's been fully serviced. It's ready to go. What I want to try to do today, at least, is to get this road open all the way to the gate. So I'm going to be using my new tool a little bit, and then this afternoon I'm going to go out to my place. I got an old truck coming in. Here is my new tool. This is the Ecoflow Delta Max 2000. It's got all sorts of plugins. It's got USB chargers, it's got fast chargers, it's got USB-Cs, it's got a digital readout on it, and it shows you how long till charged when you're charging it. It shows you how long till empty when you're using it. It shows you the charge level. It shows you how many watts it's drawing, all that sort of stuff. On this side over here, it has 6 plugins. It's got car plugin. Oh, wrong way. If I can get this out. There we go. Like that. I haven't used it hardly at all. I did use it a little bit yesterday, but everything's still brand new, so it's stiff. And what's really cool is you can turn each section on individually. Now that section is on. Only these are on. Nothing else is on this unit. Now I can turn it back off. It's got 2 auxiliary plugins here. This is where you can actually plug solar panels in to charge this. Now, I did not get the solar panels for this unit. It charges pretty quick. There are 2 different charge settings. You can have it charge quick or you can have it charge slow. So this video isn't going to be just about that. I'm going to be doing some other stuff as well, but that's going to be a big part of the video is this unit right here. I'm going to use it, and if it works good, then I'll recommend it to you. At this point in time, I'm not going to recommend you buy that unit just because I don't know if it's good or not. Now, I did use it yesterday to charge my Sawzall batteries, and I have 3 batteries now. One of them died completely. When you watch that video, you'll understand that. But anyway, I was able to rotate those 3 batteries out on the charger, keep them fully charged all day long. I was never in need of a charged battery, and I ran it from 100% to about 76%, 75, something like that. And that was charging batteries all day long, continuously. There was a battery on the charger hooked up to this unit right here. So far, it seems like a good unit, but, you know, running a battery charger is not a big draw, and so today I'm really going to put it to the test. Let's say you already have a bunch of power tools and you don't want to buy more tools that are battery operated. I've had this Sawzall here forever. This has been a really good saw. But anyway, there's a lot of times that it would just be a whole lot simpler to not have to deal with having multiple batteries, especially when I'm running a Sawzall and a cutoff wheel and an impact and all sorts of different tools. Having to carry all that stuff with me, all the extra batteries and the extra chargers, just is a lot more stuff. Whereas hopefully now with this unit, I can carry just that one unit and one of each tool, and no extra batteries, no extra chargers, nothing like that. There's a time and a place for battery tools, and there's a time and a place for stuff like this. So I'm going to try it out on this car right here. I rolled this over. I ripped off 2 of the converters. I've got to cut that one down a little bit, and then I've got to cut this one down the rest of the way as well. Works just as good as plugging it into a regular outlet. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set the camera up looking at the display just to see what sort of draw this thing has as I cut that other converter off. And there we go, works good so far. I was looking back at the footage as I was using it, and it said it was drawing around 800 watts, give or take a little bit. And it said 2 hours at one point when it was at peak watts. And what that basically means is that if I was to run that Sawzall non-stop, just hold the trigger down, that unit would last for 2 hours before it went dead. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be using it for 2 hours non-stop like that. But anyway, I'm going to stop talking as much now at this point in the video. I just basically wanted you guys to know what's going on. I'm going to fire up the loader, and I'm going to film processing some of these cars. That being said, let's get busy. Well, guys, it is lunchtime. I have cut off, I think, seven, I think, somewhere around there, 6 or 7 converters so far with that unit right there in the Sawzall, and it's at 98%. So far, I'm pretty impressed, but I'm really going to put it to the test later. You know, you're sitting here watching me eat french fries, and are you even subscribed to this channel? Why would you watch a guy eat french fries if you aren't even going to subscribe to his channel? It would mean the world to me right now if you aren't subscribed, if you would go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And with that, lunch is over, so let's get back to work. Well, we're making progress. I've got 4 more, but I'm keeping that bus for storage, so I really just got 3 more. Well, that was unexpected. This loader just came out of the shop, you know. It got completely serviced, and when I took it in there, it had about a little under a quarter tank of DEF in it. So that was quite a bit. That would last quite a while. It just not came on with a warning light and said DEF tank empty, power limited, shut off immediately. So I shut it off, and I'm going to have to go get some DEF. I don't have time to get it today, so I guess we'll worry about that another day. I do have a few people bringing some junk in. I got to gather up all the converters that I took off already, so I guess we'll get that done first. I want to see if this Ecoflow will run my plasma cutter. All right, guys, I'm all set up, ready to go. I've got my wire wheel hooked up. I've got this hooked up. Everything's plugged in. For now, what I'm going to do just for an easy, simple test is I've got this can right here. I'm going to go ahead and cut me a little junk lantern out of this real quick. Well, guys, that was a failure. Didn't quite work. I did some research and it's kind of a bummer. This hypertherm here requires about 3,600 watts is what it takes to run this and the air compressor, whereas this here has a max load of 3,400 watts. So it's just barely too much. That's why it'll work for a second, but then it quits. This here is rated at 2,400 watts, but it has what's called the X boost, which automatically regulates something that is, let's say this is a little bit more like 3,000 watts or something like that. It would regulate it back down to 2,400 watts and it would go ahead and work. Unfortunately, that is just barely too much for this unit. So my idea is not going to work. So with this setup, I will be able to keep batteries charged, run my Sawzall, run my grinder, whatever I need to run. I can even run multiple units at a time because it will still, I did the math, and it will stay underneath that 3,400 watt capacity. In addition to that, I'll actually be able to hook up some LED lights. I want to get some nice LED lights so I can be working at night, things like that, especially once I get my cabin more built. I'll be able to power that entire cabin with just this unit right here. I'm going to go ahead and kick this on so we can see just how many watts this draws. So not bad. That was around 600 watts, maybe a little bit more. So that means I'll be able to run that and the Sawzall. So I could be running the Sawzall cutting stuff. Somebody else could be running the cutoff wheel. I could have my phone plugged into this charging, and I could have a battery pack charging as well, all at the same time, and we're still well under the limit. Just to prove it, I hooked up the Sawzall and the grinding wheel. I'm going to go ahead and run both of them at the same time, and I'm going to leave the camera on this so we can see exactly what it does. As you can see, at 95% battery, it was dropping down to around 1 hour, maybe 2 hours of runtime, and that's if you were running both units at the same time continuously, non-stop. Now when you're cutting up an old truck, an old car, you're cutting something off of something, usually you're only going to be running them for about 2-minute cuts, and that's one at a time. If you had both of them going, you're still looking at 2-minute cuts each. And so if you cut for 2 minutes and then you stop and you do something, you cut and you cut, you could very easily get at least 3/4 of a day, if not a full day, out of this unit here. And that's running both saws, or a cutoff wheel and a saw at the same time, which really isn't that realistic. So based on these tests so far, I don't see any way that this unit doesn't last a full day. I think this thing is going to become a staple of what I use a lot of times, especially when I'm spending a full day of cutting stuff. I think especially for cutting converters, this is going to be an absolute game changer, a lifesaver. That way I can hook up one Sawzall to it, run it all day long. I don't have to be juggling batteries or nothing like that. And at the end of the day, I still have well over half a battery. I mean, I use this to cut 6 or 7 converters, and it was at 96% still, so. Okay guys, I'm actually editing this part of the video in after the fact. I've had this unit for about a week and a half now. I have been using it a ton, and it has been performing flawlessly. One thing I do want to check out though, just for you guys, is to see if it actually will run my air compressor, because I got my air compressor here. I've got to drive this truck here in a day or two, and the front tires are both low. Now normally I'd have to get out my great big long extension cord, run all the way around the house, but today I should be able just to plug it right into this and air my front tires up. And here's the moment of truth. The unit is on. Let's see what happens. It didn't shut off. Let's see what it's running here. Oh, yeah, that's well within the range of this thing. About 140 watts, maybe a little over. It's creeping up a little bit. Yeah, even if it maxes out around 160, 170 watts, that's way below what this thing can handle. So yeah, easy peasy. Man, I just now realized I've got dirt all over my face. I don't even know when I got that, or probably from when I was cutting those converters, and I probably touched my face or something like that. You don't want to do that when you're cutting converters. All that black soot, it does not wash off very easy. And I have a lot going on tonight. I'm not going to have time to take a shower for probably another 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. But anyway, I was able to show you guys what I've done so far today, or little bits and pieces of it. I didn't get everything, unfortunately. Just, I don't know what's up with that GoPro. I really like that thing. I need to figure out what's going on with it. One thing I'm really curious on this is just how much draw there is when all you're doing is charging your phone. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on, get my phone out, plug it in. If I can get it to work, we'll see what happens here. Oh, so like nothing. Yeah, 40 hours. If I was to charge my phone non-stop and get 40 hours. It's fluctuating a little bit, but it bounced up to 50, now it's down to 37, so it's hard telling. It probably takes it a minute to figure out exactly how long it would take. So that's pretty crazy. This phone has been plugged in just long enough for me to cut that converter. It was at 19% when I started, and it's at 25% now. So This thing is charging super fast. That's way faster than it charges at home, so this must be a high-speed fast charger right here. Even my fast charger that I have at home doesn't charge that fast, so that's really cool. 91%. It was at 93 when I started cutting that door, so not too bad. That first one took a while to cut, but I was using a really dull blade that I've been using all day, so I switched it up for another blade, and then I bent that blade almost immediately, so I threw it away and put on another new blade, and I was a little bit more careful this time, and I cut through the bottom hinge like butter. Got that side over there to get off yet. I don't know exactly why the guy wants these doors. I think they're for art, I'm guessing. I don't really know. But he wanted them, asked me to cut them off for him, so that's what I'm doing. And there we go, got door number 2 off. There is not much left of this car here. I still have the body tag off the firewall. There was no VIN on the car when I got it, but I did pop the body tag off of it. Figured somebody might need that for something. Everybody laughed at me when I bought this car. I gave $100 for this car, and it was about a 45-minute drive one direction, so I had about 2 hours invested in it altogether, counting loading it and all. I sold the rear trunk off of it for $250. I sold the rear end out of it for $200. I got a guy supposed to be here tomorrow afternoon to get the frame, what's left of the frame, for $250, and then I got the back door sold. So that's quite a bit of stuff. Made a little bit of money on this. Now actually most of the money that I made off of this I just gave to Sean for helping me the other day. He came out here and helped me cut up a whole bunch of old trucks, so most of the money went to him, but whatever I make on the frame, that'll be my profit on the deal. And then I guess I can go ahead and stick this in the pile and crush it whenever we get the crusher out here. It only took 1% to cut that door off, but it went a little bit quicker because I knew what I was doing this time. That's why I say I have no doubt that I could use this all day long. I could run a Sawzall, charge batteries for my other stuff. I could be using all sorts of tools on this thing, and it will last me all day, no problem. So I'm pretty excited to have this unit in my arsenal. I'm really excited to have it once we get to working on this. Like I said, it's going to be awesome having that for lights. I can put some light strips inside. I can put up corner lights, outside lights, whatever I want to do. I can power them all with that, no problem. Anything I want to run as far as power tools to work on this, I'll be able to run, no problem. Definitely looking forward to having more time to work on this. I made a move the other day to do something, and I'll talk more about that another day. I don't really want to give out any details yet, but it should free me up to be able to work on this like I've been wanting to do for the last year now almost. My videos, I have several recorded. I don't know when I'm going to release them, so they're kind of out of order, but either the video before this one or after this one, whether it's before or after, it'll be right next to this video. I actually did a video with the Junkyard cabin. It's pretty cool. I had a lot of fun doing it, and it was a good first dedicated Junkyard cabin video, and I really enjoyed that. So be sure to either look and see if I already posted that, or be looking for it in case I post it after this one. As far as the Ecoflow goes, I will put a link in the description if you're interested in buying one of these, or at least checking them out. I'm going to be putting it to the test. This is going to be in a lot of my videos, so I'll be the guinea pig on this, and I'll see if it really does live up to the hype. So far I am above impressed, but it's 2 days old now. I've been using it for 2 days, and so that really hasn't put it through the ringer. I want to use it for, you know, at least a month or so, at least 3 or 4 weeks before I really put a 100% stamp of approval. Especially, like I said, this is not a paid promotion. This is just an honest review. If you're not looking for a $2,000 unit, they do make smaller ones. They're not quite as capable. If you're going to be running a lot of power tools, this one here will actually run a small air compressor, they say. Not tiny, but it'll run a medium-sized air compressor. It probably won't run your gigantic one, but you understand what I'm saying. So I've got an air compressor at home. I may hook that up and see if it works with that. They say you can run power saws with this thing, all sorts of stuff, and I believe it. I mean, it runs a Sawzall and the grinder at the same time, so I have no doubt it'll run just about whatever you want it to run, other than a plasma cutter, unfortunately. And with that, I think we're about done with this video. I've got a few other things going on tonight, and then I've got a swap meet tomorrow, and I've got an auction Saturday. Got a bunch of stuff going on, so I need to get ready for all that. I've got some tools and stuff in the back of my truck I don't really want to leave in there in case somebody steals them at the swap meet. Like I said earlier, I know this is a little bit different of a video, but I just wanted to go ahead and get this out, and it's going to be a double whammy. I'm probably going to release this video and then my Junkyard cabin video the next day. That way you get a 2 back-to-back video deal. 2 for the price of 1. So be sure to check out Ecoflow. Like I said, the link will be in the description below. As always, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day, and remember to get out there and find an adventure. We'll see you on the next one.